Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. It is early afternoon where I am, 1 o'clock. Um, it's 12 p.m. Eastern. That's when I said I'd go live. So here I am. I announce the time that I go live in Eastern because there's a lot more people in the Eastern time zone than the Atlantic time zone. And in fact, a lot of people in the US don't even know or haven't thought about the Atlantic time zone because there's no place in the US that uses it. Um, I am located very east in Nova Scotia. Look it up on a map if you'd like to know where it is, but it's basically from New York, you go up to Boston, then hang a right and head further east and a little bit further north, and that's where Nova Scotia is. And I'm just outside of Halifax in Canada. So, yeah, 1 o'clock here, and hello from wherever you're watching from. Thank you for joining my live stream. This is live stream number, I want to say 6, I believe. And I'm trying to do this every Thursday. The time has changed a bit. The first few times I did it in the morning, and now I've moved to the afternoon, early afternoon, which is still the morning on the West Coast. But if you're watching from other parts of the world, who knows what time it could be? Could be the middle of the night. So I'm going to keep making adjustments until I find the perfect time that works for most people. And I'll try to go online live once a week where I will go over anything you want me to go over. Um, Anything to do with Fiverr or Camtasia or video editing in general. I do all my video editing in Camtasia currently. I am learning Premiere Pro on the side as well. But for the most part, since most of what I make is video tutorials that include screenshots or screen casts or recording of my screen, Camtasia is perfect for that. Um, First of all, before I get too far into this, I want to make sure, can everybody hear me okay? I'll just check the chat here. Matt Fuller says, hi, Rob. Hi, Matt. How you doing? Thanks for joining the live stream. Good to see you. Um, yeah, if somebody out there can just let me know for sure that the audio is working. I'm pretty sure it is. Um, I've brought my microphone back down. I had it up here last week, and the audio isn't as good when the microphone isn't right in front of your mouth. The further you put it away, the more distant the voice sounds. You can, so I guess this would be some advice for if you're recording your voice. Let's say you're doing voiceover for a video that you're making, or if you're doing a live stream like this. The closer you put your microphone to you, the more clear it will be. So as you can tell, if I'm really close up to the microphone like this, I'm probably super loud. If I'm further away or quite far away, it's probably a lot harder to hear me. Maybe a little more echo as well, depending on how well you've treated your room for sound absorption and things like that. Yeah, so we'll try it again down below. Just I didn't love the way it sounded last week, so I don't think this looks like it's in the way too much. So we'll just leave it here for now. Um, I mean, if you watch people online or podcasts, typically they have their microphone really close to them, and that gives it a much better sound. So, all right, so let's get into the. Well, first, let me address what I've got on the screen here. Not sure. How do I point to it? Right here. I've got a little overlay advertising the book that I wrote about a month or two ago. And it's about Fiverr and how to make a living or how to make a good income as a freelancer on Fiverr. So it's just something relatively short that I put together. Well, it's 38 pages, 38 full size PDF, 8.5 by 11 pages. And it goes over the basics on how to get started with Fiverr and some tips on how to take advantage of the platform to the best of your ability so that it'll give you the best chance of getting orders and making good money as a freelancer. I use Fiverr myself. That's actually my main source of income is from Fiverr right now. And it's been great to me. I've been doing it for about 3 years. and I've learned lots of things. And so I wrote a little book about it, and it's free. If you want a copy of it, just send me an email. I will. Wait, now here we go. There. Send me an email to that email address, and I will send you. I will reply with a download link where you can download the free book. Um, I am working on my website, which I don't have live yet, but I've been doing a lot of work on it this week. And hopefully by this time next week, I think I said that last week too, but hopefully by this time next week, I'll have it. I'll have a proper form on a website page on my website where you can go and leave your name and email address, and then you'll be able to download it. So that's the way it's going to work. I'm just not quite there yet. So but I think there's a lot of good information in it. So if you want to check that out, feel free, ask me for a copy, and I'll send it to you. No strings attached. Okay, let me just keep going down through. There were a couple of questions by Power Apps Tutorial early on before I went live, and I'm going to get to those. But let me first, as they're a little bit more involved, but let me first just go through the latest questions that are coming in here. Um, Okay, Office Mystic, thank you for joining the live stream. Your question is, I can't run Camtasia 2021. Tech support claims it's because I have the insider or beta version of Windows 11. I am trying to exit the insider program, but it's going to take a while. That's interesting. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. I'm using Windows 10. I don't typically download the beta versions. My son does. He's usually the first one, and sometimes he checks in here. Liam A6. He streams over on Twitch, coding and whatnot, and he is typically one of the first to download these beta versions of software, particularly Windows. But I have not, so I have not run into that problem. But so I don't really know how easy or hard it would be to exit that beta program. It sounds like you do need Windows 10. Perhaps Camtasia 2021 was only designed when Windows 10 was out, so I guess it stands to reason that it wouldn't work on Windows 11. So good luck with that. I hope you can figure that out. Office Mystic says, I can hear you perfectly fine. Perfect. That's what all my lights here are saying, that the audio is working, but I guess I'm a little nervous about that. I think what my first live stream or the second one, I was talking for a minute or so and didn't realize that I hadn't turned my microphone on. So lots to think about while I'm doing this. Audio is great, Matt says. Thank you, Matt. Office Mystic says 2019 works perfectly. Well, that is interesting. So Camtasia 2019 works on Windows 11 beta, but Camtasia 2021 doesn't. That's strange. I don't know why that would be. I'm not techie enough to know that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you can figure out how to get out of the beta program, then perhaps 2021 will work. 2022, Camtasia 2022 should be out soon. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. We talked a bit about this last week, and I don't have an update. So let me just post this, put this back on. Yeah, so that's the overlay I put up last week. As you can see, each of the last 3 years, the latest version of Camtasia came out late April. So April 30th, April 28th, April 27th. Last year in 2021 is when 2021 came out. And we're just about there. What are we? April 21st is today. So if it's anything like, if they're going to keep the same schedule that they did the last 3 years, hopefully we'll see Camtasia 2022 by next week, at least in the next week or two. That would be awesome. And then that Office Mystic might solve your problem. Maybe 2022 version will work on Windows 11 beta. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's the fact that it's a beta version that it won't allow it to work. So I'm not sure there. But so you can either wait for Camtasia 2022 and just skip over 2021, or try to figure out how to back out of the Windows 11 beta. Not sure. I think that's what I would try, but because I wouldn't want you to miss out on Camtasia 2021. had a lot of great upgrades from Camtasia 2020 and the earlier versions. The media mat is one that sticks in my mind that I love. It makes masking um, much easier. You know how it went when you see the videos with the speaker's face or head like in a circle down in the corner. Let me do this here. Down in the corner of the video. A lot of my videos, that's what I do. That's done with the Media Mat tool in Camtasia. And before 2021, you had to use masking of the layers of the tracks, and it was just a little bit more complicated. And you had to do some rearranging and hiding, and then unhiding some tracks. But anyway, so that was my favorite upgrade going to 2021. Um, so here's hoping 2022 has all kinds of other really cool upgrades and updates. Um, Going back to the chat. Hello, Pat's World. Thanks for joining the live chat. Thanks for all you do, she says. No problem. This is fun. My first live stream a couple months ago now. I was quite nervous doing this because I had never gone live before. I've been making videos for the channel. And one of the first things you might notice, the difference between those videos and these live streams is my videos that I post are a lot more tightly edited. I do a lot of jump cuts because I'm not yet that comfortable just staring into the eye of the camera without looking up above at the viewfinder that shows me. But it takes some getting used to just to look into the camera. And when I'm looking into the camera, if I've got like a paragraph of text that I want to say, um, I won't remember it all. So I what I do now is I will memorize a sentence or a line, maybe two lines, and then I'll look up into the camera and I'll say it. I'll usually mess up. Sometimes I have to say it two or three times, or sometimes I'll break the sentence up into two and pause at a comma. And then, so, anyways, to put all that together and to remove all the mistakes takes a lot of editing. So that's how I make those videos. Whereas this one, these live streams, is live. So I can't edit anything out. So you're going to get a lot more ums and ahs from me. It's just the way I talk naturally. There you go. But when making the videos, because one of the things I've learned uh, in making YouTube videos is you want to keep the audience as engaged for as long as you can. So that means removing ums and ahs and dead space when nothing's happening, or if I'm doing a tutorial and I forget what the next step is, I'll leave the camera recording and I'll figure it out. What am I doing? What's the next step? Okay. And once I figure it out, then I'll go back to the camera and I'll pick up there. Well, that whole section of video where I was figuring out what the next step is, I have to cut that out in editing. So that my videos stay as short as possible so that viewers will watch them for as long as possible. That's kind of the whole goal. So anyways, long-winded answer. Thanks for all you do is all you said, and you got about a 2-minute long answer from me. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. Um, what else we have here? Matt Fuller says at Office Mystic, to test what tech support says, install in virtual machine on the same PC. If it doesn't work in the virtual machine, tech support is correct. There you go. There you go. Give that a shot, Office Mystic, and hopefully that will help. And thanks, Matt, for chiming in. I certainly don't know all the answers. So if anybody is here hoping that I have all of the answers to everything, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So I'm going to share what I do know, and I'm going to be perfectly upfront when there's stuff that I don't know. And so I really appreciate it when other people who do know the answers chime in on the chat, and I'll post them up here just like this. I'll put them on the screen. All right, let me just put this banner back here to the book one. So I'm doing what I'm doing here is a bunch of clicks within StreamYard, which is the software that I use to stream live. It's not the only software you can use. You can use OBS, There's other ones. Ecamm Live is one for you Mac users. StreamYard is browser based, so you can use it whether you're on a PC or a Mac. There's another one called Restream. Um, so there's all kinds of ways you can do it. StreamYard, the reason I like this is it keeps things really simple. Um, uh, Simple, yet there's so much you can do. I find sometimes there are too many buttons. I think they're all necessary, but they're broken down into different tabs, and I'm still getting used to where things are. So if I want to show um, somebody's comment from the live chat, I have to click a tab first, the comments tab, and then I can highlight the comment like this. So I just click to highlight this. Office Mystic says, Matt Fuller, thanks. I'll give that a shot. Um, Liam A6, hey, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Good to see you again. Let's see what's next. We've got Usman. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you for joining the live stream. Hello, Rob. Great work. Thank you. Glad you like it. So yeah, so that's currently I'm up to date with the live chat. So that's one tab. If I were to go to another tab, there's comments. I'm not sure you can see. Actually, let me try to show you what this looks like. I've moved my camera a little bit, and it's on a tripod that I can move around a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at. Can I even zoom this in? Yeah, there you go. So this monitor here is what I'm looking at on the side, and that's StreamYard in a browser tab. And yeah, this is going to be hard to see, but there are tabs up here. You can see the live chat here, and I can just click on any of these, and as I do that, it shows the comment live in the live stream for you guys to see. But now if I want to change this overlay to another overlay that I have to first come up here to the tabs and click on brand. And then from there, I can select my overlay. So here's one. That's the Camtasia overlay. The main overlay that I created for my first live stream is here. I created a Be Right Back one, which I don't believe I've ever used before until now. Yeah, and then there's also another tab that has banners, and that's where I'm able to change the banner along the bottom. So this ticker, I can hide it or show it. There's a couple other banners that I've um, uh, pre-typed out so that I can show them at any time, or I can create one on the fly. So I click here, create a banner. Uh, hey, this is a test, and enter. So I just created one, and now I can click it to show it. Hey, this is a test. So it's pretty cool. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot of functionality to StreamYard, and it's taking me a little bit of time to get used to it. But it's fun to figure it out. It allows somebody to self-produce a live stream. Um, if I had somebody else, say a producer, an assistant that could act as a producer, they could be on another machine or another computer, and they could be basically producing the live stream. I wouldn't have to worry about this. I could just concentrate on doing a tutorial, sharing my screen, and they could be clicking on the messages. So that's another way that it can be done. But it's really designed for one person to be able to do it on their own. So there you go. Maynard Mariquin, welcome and thanks for your comment. Thanks for joining in. Thanks. Great work. And also, hello from California. Hello. So you are 4 hours away from here. So it must be 9, 10, 12, yeah, 20 after 9 in California. Good morning. Good afternoon from where I am. Okay, so what's next? What do I've got here? I've got a couple things prepared. So we've been live for, wow, 20, almost 20 minutes already. I'm going to be here for at least an hour. I may stick around longer if you continue to have questions. That I have no problem staying longer. So this past week, I posted two videos. Two videos to YouTube, and they were both on animation custom animations. So, as you probably are aware, if you're a Camtasia user, there is the ability to animate things. You can animate. Well, the week before it was an animation video as well, and it was on my favorite animation techniques. And so, yeah, you can animate your screen by zooming in, zooming out, panning across, and whatnot when you're making a video tutorial. Or you can animate things like spotlights, which is when you're highlighting something on your screen. If you want to animate it to highlight something else, maybe there's a list of things you want to animate one after the other after the other. You can move that. You can animate that spotlight. And then I also use the animation tool in the beginning, excuse me, of all my video tutorials to animate the logo to create a relatively simple but pretty good looking intro. So my clients will send me a logo, and I will create a little 5 second intro where it zooms in and then does a slow zoom as maybe I show a title and then have it fade away and then into the video tutorial. So I use the custom animation tool all the time. Um, but then we got into things like custom animations. I figured out how to make an orbital animation. So basically, instead of something animating across the screen in a straight line, or diagonally, or whatever, it's straight line though. Figured out how to make it orbit around something. So I did that by using two things. One was a by using another object that you group your main object with, combine them in a group, and then rotate it, and that will make your object appear to, well, it'll rotate around a central object, and then you can hide the secondary object. Anyways, I'm it's probably it'd be way easier to understand if you watch the video. If you've seen it, great. Yeah, so I posted that one. I think it was last Friday, and it's called, or I think it's custom animation orbital object or something like that. And then 2 days ago, or no, yesterday, 2 days ago, I posted another animation one, complex line animation, where I had an arrow go across the screen and then go up and around an object and then back across the screen again. And I did that by combining several animations together. So if you're interested at all in learning how to do that, it's not really what Camtasia was designed for. There are probably easier ways to to animate things by using tools in like some of the Adobe tools, Illustrator or After Effects, I believe that's the animation one. Um, you can make your animations in there, and then you can save them as MP4s, perhaps on a green screen or with a transparent background, and then you can import them into your Camtasia video. So that would be another way if you know how to use those pieces of software. But yeah, the whole point was just kind of an exercise showing what you could do with Camtasia if you want to, and if you just kind of put some thought into it. So that last one, the custom line animation, it wasn't something I had ever done before. It was actually a question that somebody asked once they saw my orbital um, animation. Once they saw that, they said, "Oh, that's cool. What about going in a line and going around something or following a road?" So I didn't know how to do it, but just kind of thought it through and broke down the animations into its little snippets of combination of line animations and, circular this way and then circular this way, and just kind of tying them all together. Yeah, no, that was fun. That was fun. So learned something new this week. Um, what else have I been up to? Lots of Fiverr work. As I said, that's my main source of income, is working as a freelancer on Fiverr. I do subtitling, I do video editing, and I do light video editing. That is, for example, converting a raw video that somebody might take of themselves into something that looks much better on social media. So let's say they want a polished looking video with a title up above, maybe on a colored background, and then subtitles down below. Maybe a logo is watermarked in the video somewhere, or maybe the end of the video will have like the logo zoom onto the screen with contact information and a call to action. things like that. So I'll turn a raw video into things like that, and I always use Camtasia to do that. So I've had some of that work this week, and of course, video tutorials. That right now is probably where I get most of my business from, or not where, but most of the business that I get through Fiverr is for video tutorials right now. And again, Camtasia is what I use for that. So the whole idea of this channel is to kind of show you the tips and tricks that I've learned in Camtasia along the way, and also to kind of move into how to make a living using Camtasia or make a good income. I mean, you could. I'm kind of proof that you can make a living doing it. I make a good living uh, using Camtasia as a freelancer. But if you just want to make a few dollars on the side, if you already have a full time job or don't have the time to put into this full time, Fiverr is still a great way um, to start a side gig, if you will. So something that you do in your spare time, um, and you can work as hard or as little as you want. So, anyways, that is that. So yeah, Fiverr. I've been doing a lot of Fiverr this week. Um, Working on the website that's coming along. Um, Working on a color scheme. I've been a little confused. Um, so trying to wrap my head around what this business looks like. So I'm trying to move from just a Fiverr freelancer where basically everything that I earn is tied into the Fiverr website, which is great. I love Fiverr, but it's not necessarily all that smart to only have I guess, all my eggs in one basket, if you will. So I'm trying to migrate to having my own website. Not completely. I want to keep the Fiverr thing alive, but I also want to create my own website that will host my own content, that will advertise what I do, probably links to my Fiverr profile and my Fiverr gigs, but also will include a blog that will uh, that is basically another way of displaying the videos that I make in YouTube. So all of the YouTube videos I've made so far, I think I'm up over 25 now. It's not that many, but I'm going to create a blog post for each one of those, and that in time that will become another way that people can discover me. So not just through YouTube, but through Google as the website gets ranked and as I write blog articles. With SEO in mind that hopefully get ranked. That'd be another way that people could find me and find what I do. And also the website is where I want to basically be a place where I can help you guys. So with whatever you need in starting a home-based business or online business. That's what I do, and I want to help other people learn how to do what I do. So that'll a website will be a great place for me to host, um, for example, courses. I have several courses in mind that I want to create, some free and some paid for. So I'll have some easy, quick, step by step tutorials, video based tutorials. Um, that will or video-based courses that will be free that you'll be able to sign up for and watch at your leisure, and also continue to make free content on YouTube that will more and more be designed around uh, helping you to do what I do, if that makes sense. So I think a website is kind of central to that. So that's kind of high on my list to have that up and working. At least have the download page for my free book available by next week. And as I said, until then, just send me an email and I will send you a copy of that. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. I've already talked about Camtasia 2022, hopefully out within the next couple of weeks. Um, Now, just let me just double check the live chat again. Uh, Okay, Mark Warner. Thanks, Mark, for dropping in, and thanks for your question. Do you have any indication of when Camtasia 2022 is coming out, and or what features they may be adding or changing? So I'm hopeful next within the next couple of weeks. But I have no proof of that other than this right here. Let me just hide your comment. These are the dates that it came out in the last few years. So if as long as it comes out at the end of April, the same way it did the last 3 years, to me, that's a good indication that maybe in the next couple of weeks it should be out. And I don't know what's going to be in it. I'm just as excited as you are to find out. Um, as soon as I know what's in it, I plan on doing a video that will kind of go through all of the updates and improvements and new tools, hopefully, that they have. So look for that in the future. And will you be creating a what's new in 2022 video? Yes. Yes, that's what I want to do. That's the plan, anyways. Matt Fuller, thanks for the book, Rob. It has great information. I'm new on Fiverr and seem to only get contacted by buyers who Fiverr later bans. I'm sure the gigs will come, but it's been slow going. Um, Unfortunately, there are spam issues on Fiverr. I too get a lot of what I get a lot of because I guess because I'm an established Fiverr seller that has thousands of sales and ratings and whatnot. Um, Other people will sign on. Other people who want to get a kickstart to their seller account will message me and ask me for work. So in other words, if I have too much to do, they want to be the person that does it for me. So I get a lot of that. I rarely. I mean, I have some people that I work with if there's something that I need help with. I always kind of uh, tie it together myself, but I have outsourced some things. But in general, I don't think that's the way to go. I don't think it's good practice to message people and ask them if you can do some of their work, because that is not allowed by Fiverr, and it will get you banned. And so that's kind of what you've found out, that other people have been banned for doing things like that, spamming. There's also been some hack attempts. So I've received a link that says, click here, and usually it's in broken English, and they'll ask me to click a link. They'll say something generic like, "Love what you do, want to work with you. Click here," and it's a link that I don't recognize, and I'm not willing to click on that because it's a hack attempt. So Fiverr, it's a full time job for them to stay on top of those sorts of things, and you can report if you receive messages like that look suspicious. You can report them. You can report spam, but know also that other people are reporting them as well. So when they get found out, they get banned. So I'm sorry you've experienced some of that, but it kind of comes with the territory. And all I can suggest is keep at it. It is slow going at first, but once the ball starts rolling, it's great. And for me, it took me a few months before. In fact, I think I had one or two orders in like the first month I got orders, and then there was a whole month where I got none, and then I got 5, and then like 15, and then 100. Like it kind of went up really fast. And all I can suggest is when you do get an order, do a damn good job for them. So just go all out, and even if it's just a $5 order, spend an hour or more. I mean, $5 an hour is not very much, but um, to get established and to get some of those first few ratings really will help your gigs get listed in Fiverr's search. I mean, all these websites are search based. So Fiverr, Google, YouTube, and it's all about getting ranked high in the search to be discovered. And Fiverr's no different. So you have to work on your SEO within Fiverr. So your title should have a keyword or keywords that you're targeting. That should also be in your description. It should also make mention of it in the image, the main image of your gig video keyword. And like don't overdo it with the keywords. Actually, Fiverr won't let you. It'll tell you, hey, you've got this word. I think when I first made my first gig, I had the word video in my description 10 times. And they said, no, that's too many times. You have to remove that word a couple times. So it takes a little bit of time to get it just right, but it's well worth it. Stick with it. I'm sure you will make a good go of it. Hey, I'm on now. Welcome. Uh, Dennis, I believe your name is. Power Apps tutorial. You're the one that's asked a few questions in the beginning. I have not addressed them yet, so good timing. I'm going to get to them very shortly. Yes, we can start the party now. Everybody, Power Apps tutorial is in the house. Let's start the party. Mark Warner says, thanks. You're welcome, Mark. Power Apps says, I got a lot of people, spammers on Fiverr, who want me to do meetings and interviews with people outside the US. It's annoying. Yep, it's annoying. um, I not sure what to say. It kind of comes with the territory. It's you wouldn't want to block stuff like this too tightly, because then you risk losing uh, potentially valid messages. I just had one yesterday. Somebody, the message to me was, "Hi, sir. I want to work with you." Period. And they never said anything else. And usually my go-to response is, "Hello, how can I help?" Um, but I had received several spam things that day, so my response to him immediately was, "Sorry, not interested. No, thanks." Something like that. And but it turned out to be a legitimate request, just not a native English speaker. So I was kind of embarrassed and apologetic for that. But I just said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought this was spam. I thought, whatever." So you do have to watch out for that, but it kind of goes with the territory. Just make sure when you do get spam, even though I get something that I know is spam and nothing's going to come of it, I still respond right away, like right away, because I want to keep my minimum response time low. So that's one of the things that Fiverr uses to rank your to rank you and to rank your gigs, is how fast are you at responding. It also, now having said that, I don't know if that's officially plugged into their algorithm, or if it's just the fact that they display that on your profile page so that other potential buyers will see that. So in other words, if somebody finds one of my gigs, and they then want to drill down and read a little bit more about me, they can click on my profile, and then they can, well, here, let me just I'm going to bring this up. Um, let me just share my screen. I'm going to hide this overlay, and I'm going to bring up right here my screen. I'm on Camtasia's homepage. Let me go back to Fiverr. Okay, here is my Fiverr gigs page. Let me just click over onto my profile. So here's my profile. I'm just going to hide Power Apps. I'm just going to hide your comment so that everybody can see this. So over here is where, this is your profile page. This is what it looks like. It has all of your gigs here on the right listed, and you can click into those to view the gigs and watch the gig video. But if you scroll down a little bit, this section right here, this says, okay, there's my username. It says what my level is. I'm a level 2 seller. Shows that I'm 5-star rating. Shows that I have over 1,000 reviews. Shows that I'm from Canada when I joined. And this one right here, average response time 1 hour, and last delivery 2 days ago. So yeah, this 1 hour, I want to keep that as low as possible. And 1 hour is as low as it will ever show here. Um, if your average response time is 10 minutes, it'll still say 1 hour. I just don't want, there was a time that mine said 2 hours, and it's like, oh, no, that doesn't look as good, because when I'm looking for gigs as well, that's one thing I look at. And if it says the seller's average response time is 8 hours, or more than 24 hours, and if I'm in a rush, I'm not going to contact them, especially if I see that they're not online right now. So I want to keep that as low as possible. I'm not exactly sure if that's hard coded into their algorithm, and if it's as low as it'll go at 1 hour, if that will help my showing, but I do know it's something that people can see, and I want them to see that I respond quickly. Um, I don't even remember what the question was, but I hope that answers it. Uh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You get a lot of spammers. So, yeah, even though something might be a spam message, I still respond right away to keep that low. If it ends up being that it was spam and they get blocked, then it doesn't matter. It gets deleted and their account gets deleted, and that won't enter into the calculation to figure out what your lowest response time is. Um, but just to be safe, I always respond. Usually, if I know it's spam, I'll just say something like, "Hello, dot dot dot. How can I help?" Question mark. That's I'm used to saying it like that because often I'll respond in my phone and I want the dot 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 and the question mark. So I usually dictate my response from the Fiverr iPhone app. Is what I use. Um, Power App says, yeah, it's either feast or famine with Fiverr. If you complete a good order and get a good review, they will promote you a lot. Otherwise, it becomes slow again. At least that's how it is for me. Yeah, it makes total sense. And even when things are going well, um, it will tend to slow down sometimes. I've noticed that. Um, uh, video tutorials is my largest gig right now, but it was subtitles, and subtitles is how I started. I went for over a year just subtitling videos, and that was very lucrative. I mean, says I offer it for starting at $5, but I'll tell you, my average sale, even in the first year, was I think close to $40 a sale, and that's because people will have longer videos, or they'll have other things they want done. Maybe they want the subtitles in a custom location, which is a little harder to do in Camtasia. And I've got a video on how to move your subtitles around a little bit, just a hack that I've figured out. But um, yeah, so your best performing gig, you'll find, will change over time, and you have to kind of stay on top of that. Stay on top of your competition. Every once in a while, go in and see what your competition is offering. If you're not getting enough sales, maybe lower your price if you're not already at rock bottom, or maybe lower your delivery time. Instead of 5 days, make it 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. As long as you can complete it in that time. Um, Darren, sorry, Darren, I called you Dennis. I'll remember, Darren. Haha, very good. Okay, speaking of that, Darren, let me go right back to the top here. Your question that you posted before was, perhaps you could spend some time talking about how to set up live streaming exactly the way you did it. That would be helpful. I want to do exactly what you're doing with StreamYard, OBS, and whatever else you're using. I did my first live stream and there was echoing. I made a note of that. I was just using OBS and streamed directly to YouTube. And then the third part was, is something like a Stream Deck panel, the thing you use with all those buttons, really helpful or even a necessity for streaming? Okay, so let's get into that. I've written this down. First, let me address the echoing. I did respond. I think you posted that in one of my videos as well as a comment, and I answered it there, but I'll go through that here in the live stream. Um, the reason echoing happens, it's another copy of your voice. Okay, so I'm live streaming now. I'm speaking into this microphone. I don't hear what I'm saying through anything like my speakers, or I don't have headphones on either. So that's why at the beginning of my stream, I ask people, "Can you hear me?" Because I don't know. I'm talking, so I can obviously hear myself, but I just don't know if you can hear me through this. I could put headphones on and hear myself speak, and I would probably hear myself somewhat delayed, and it's hard. I find it hard to do that, and I mean, sometimes a live stream might be a couple seconds delayed. It could be up to 10 seconds delayed. And it might sound like, oh, geez, the audio is not coming through. So, but then it will 10 seconds later. So anyway, I just find it easier to ask. Um, but yeah, so I'm speaking into the microphone. If I had If I had my speakers on, since I have I have my live stream up on another here, I'll just up here. I have let me zoom this out. I don't know if you can see that monitor. Let me just tip this back. Up there. I've got a monitor up top there, up here, that shows my live stream in the chat. Um, Probably not necessary to have that one and this one, but I've been playing around with the best way to monitor the chats, and I think that's a good spot right up there. But anyways, what was my thought? Live streaming. I've lost my thought. Lost my train of thought. Oh yes. So the echo happens if there's another version of your voice being picked up. So if I had my speakers on, it would then basically broadcast what is going on in my live stream as well. So that would get picked up by my microphone. Okay. Um, just see here. Yeah. So any noise coming from your speakers will get picked up by your microphone and go back in through your live stream, and it's kind of like an endless loop. So what that usually ends up resulting in an echo. So that's why that happens. So make sure your speakers are off. If you do need to hear what's going on, let's say your live stream involves something to do with audio. So, for example, myself, if I'm looking at, oh, let me change the camera angle again. If I'm making a video tutorial or showing how to make a video tutorial in Camtasia, then if there's audio in that, background music, speaking, narration, whatever, and I want to be able to hear that, uh, I don't want the sound of that audio to come out of the speakers and back into the microphone and produce the echo. So in that case, I would put these on. Headphones. Need headphones. And I use the ones I use here are complete over the ear headphones. I can still hear anything outside, but this doesn't allow the sound that's coming through my headphone speakers to exit and then go into the microphone, if that makes sense. So as long as you have headphones that the sound doesn't leak out of them and then into your microphone, and as long as you don't have any open tabs with your live stream playing through them, either StreamYard or um, yeah, StreamYard or YouTube, then that should get rid of your echo problem. Uh, I hope that answers that question. Now, you mentioned the Stream Deck. So let me change camera views again. So I want to show everybody what you're talking about. Um, this thing right here is a Stream Deck. This is the Stream Deck XL. XL meaning it has more buttons. There are three sizes. You got the XL, the regular Stream Deck, and I think it's called the Stream Deck Mini that has 6 buttons. So 6 or 15 or I forget how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4, 24. 24 buttons. It's a great little device for streaming. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. It's not at all. And in fact, I rarely press a button on this in my live streams currently. I do plan on integrating it more into my live streams. But right now, and I'm not sure if you can see this, I'll lift it up a little closer. But I am using it whoops, mostly for launching. There we go. Mostly for launching programs. So I've got quick launch buttons for Audition, Camtasia, Illustrator, Trello, QuickBooks. In addition, I've got my lights. The lights that I have in here, I've got them programmed to buttons here. So I can turn on my backlight or my key light. And I've got a button for my A10 Mini Pro. So I've programmed it so that it's kind of like a control panel. So I'm not using it exactly the way it's designed for. I also have some buttons programmed for like some StreamYard buttons where I can change the different views. So like if I press here, the main view, wait now, with the screen, there we go. So these are buttons I'm pressing on my Stream Deck, okay, um, those are mapped to the StreamYard program. So that's kind of cool. Um, but the way most streamers use the Stream Deck is actually not with StreamYard, but if they use a program like OBS, you mentioned OBS. If they use a program like OBS, bring me back here. If they use a program like OBS, there's a lot more you can do with the StreamYard. You can set up all your different scenes and quickly change from, and you can make custom scenes within StreamYard. You're somewhat limited to the scenes that they have pre-made. So, for example, uh, so this of me speaking to the camera. This is a scene. Another scene would be me down in a corner of the screen, my main screen that I'm sharing. That would be another scene. And you can assign buttons to each scene and then just kind of toggle between them on your Stream Deck, which actually might be easier than me trying to fumble around with all the different tabs and whatnot in the stream in StreamYard. Actually, that might be the solution to my problem. But I'm just still getting used to it. So the Stream Deck is used to make different scenes that you can easily click to, but it's also used for things like sound effects. If if somebody asks a question, I may create a sound effect that says question or something, sent, said stylistically, or whatever, maybe a kaboom sound effect or whatever. If there's any time within the production of my live stream that I want a sound effect, I can create buttons for those on the Stream Deck and then just press the button when I want a certain, and I can create custom icons for each sound with text on it if I want. So it's a cool thing. I bought mine close to a year ago, and again, I haven't even really used it that much for streaming. So 100%, it's not necessary. But as you get more and more into live streaming, it'll allow you to do some pretty cool things, some pretty polished things with your live streams when it comes to light control. You can control your lights, change the colors of your lights. There's all kinds of things you can do. And for those of you who are familiar with Zapier, excuse me, it's an online service that allows you to connect, one service with another service. For instance, it integrates with Zapier as well. So I haven't really gotten into how to do that. So don't ask me too hard questions on that because I wouldn't know the answer. I'll try to find out though. But anyways, yeah, not necessary at all. Um, What's next? So Power Apps Tutorials got a couple more comments here, and they're all basically, I think they're all to do with the kind of the same thing. I have a Blue Yeti as a mic, but then I use a Nikon for video. I think that OBS was bringing in the mic from the Nikon too, perhaps. Yes, it would. But with OBS, you can choose which audio source you want to broadcast. But that's a good point. If that might have been causing your echo as well. If you're bringing in audio from your camera as well as audio from your external mic, your Blue Yeti mic, then absolutely. If you're broadcasting both of those, that could very well result in an echo. And there may be some out of sync things too. So the answer there, I'm not. I've never really. I've played around with OBS a little bit. I know a little bit about it, but I've never live streamed with it. So I'm certainly not an expert, but I believe you can select which audio source you want to be the source that then goes out to the live stream, and you can even do some mixing. You can turn the volume if they're both being sent out. You can take the volume way down on one of them, and leave the volume high on the one that's the better mic, right? So. Um, Nice camera you have behind your monitor. What make and model is that? So you're talking about this guy up here. What that is, that's a Sony A6400. It's awesome. I love it. Uh, and the lens I have on it, it's a prime lens, meaning you can't zoom in and out. So when I bought the camera, it came with a kit lens, the kit lens, which I actually have on this camera right here. That's the lens that came with that camera. Um, this is an A6000, Sony A6000 camera. It's an older model. I just wanted another way to show like a behind the scenes view if I ever want to switch to that. And I do want to get a third camera mounted up top, pointed down at my desk, so that I can another way to go through tutorials, perhaps on a whiteboard or something. But for that, I didn't want to spend as much money. So the Sony A6400, great camera. Um, it can do way more than I need it to. um, and the lens, it's a prime lens. I believe it's the Sigma f 1.4 16 millimeter. So the 16 millimeter, so it can't zoom in and out. It's 16 millimeters and that's it. The f 1.4, again, I am not a photography expert at all. I've watched a lot of videos online on how to do this. This is a very popular camera for vloggers, even videographers starting out. It's not a full frame sensor camera. It's what's called an APS-C uh, camera, which is a crop lens, or sorry, a crop sensor. So much information in photography and trying to keep it all straight. But the f 1.4, for guys like me who are not photography experts or even videography experts, that F number, the lower the number, allows you to get a blurrier background. So if you notice behind me, the background's a little bit blurry. Same sort of effect you get with for those of you who have I have an iPhone 12, um, and it has a feature when you're taking a photo, you can choose portrait mode, which typically gives the blurry background. I'm not sure how they do it in these phones, with such a small lens, but anyway, Apple magic, I guess. But low F number, F 1.4, the lower that number, um, the blurrier the background can be, and it's just a nice effect, instead of everything being flat. So, but if I were to back up, you'll notice as I move back, you'll notice the background gets less and less blurry. See that? So if I'm right, so it should be. Yeah, there's a square around my face. So my face is always going to be in focus with this camera. It's got great autofocus. So if I move up really close, my face should always be in focus. So the closer I get here, see the background's getting blurrier and blurrier. That's kind of scary. So that's because of the lens. The lens is awesome. I think it was $400 or something like that, just for the lens. And the camera itself, I think it's around $1,000, something like that. Um, but the latest version of this camera, I believe, is called the ZV-E10 by Sony. Very similar to mine. Couple differences though, as you notice here, my camera has a flip up screen, so you can see what you're shooting. The latest version, which actually my son has for his live streams, the latest version has a flip out screen off to the side. The downside of mine with the flip up screen is that if you want to mount an external microphone, the cold shoe for that mic sits on top of the camera. So when you mount that microphone, um, it'll block that flip up screen. So the flip out screen solves that. Something else that I don't know if I have it right here. I do have a little adapter that moves my shoe over to the side for if I want to take video outside. I don't do that very much at all. I want to get more into that, but for now, I'm just using it as my live streaming camera. That's what I use, and I love it. Um, I'm using a Nikon Z6 with a 50 millimeter prime lens. Cool. So 50 millimeters means you can be farther away from your camera than I am. So I'm only about 2 feet away from my lens. Um, if I were 2 feet away from, let me think about this. If I were 2 feet away from a 50 mil lens, I would be right up in your face. So that wouldn't work. But So it all depends on where you're going to put your camera, really. So I have my camera in a certain location that kind of made sense. It's beside my main monitor and a little bit above my secondary monitor. Um, and at that distance, uh, 16 millimeters made sense for me. If I were to have it further away, then I would want a different lens if I wanted myself to be as big as I am in this screen. So a lot of math to it, a lot of figuring out to figure out what prime lens is best for you. And there's not to say you have to use a prime lens either. It's a lot more affordable to get. What I would suggest if somebody's getting a camera like this for live streaming, um, get one that comes with a kit lens. When I say kit lens just means the lens that comes with it as standard. And they're typically like if I got this camera here without the kit, I actually did. I bought this lens without any lens. I bought this camera, the A6000, without any lens because I knew I had my kit lens from this A6400 just laying around that I could put on it. So, and the kit lens, I think they gave me a discount of, I forget what it was, $75 or something like that, Canadian, um, for the kit lens. So they're not very expensive. I suggest getting a kit lens for anybody starting out. That way you'll be able to zoom. Like this kit lens is, let's see, uh, it's 16 to 50 millimeters. So that means it can zoom from 16 mils to 50. So basically between your 50 millimeter prime lens and my 18. So about this, so it can zoom between those two areas. So use that, figure out what works best for you. You'll notice with the kit lens, the F number is higher, so you won't get the blurry background, but at least you'll be able to see, okay, so yeah, 50 millimeters is perfect for me, or 35 millimeters is perfect for me. That you'll be able to figure out what works best for you. And then, uh, uh, you can spend your money and go out and get a really nice lens, prime lens that's exactly the mils that you want. Would be my suggestion. Um, yeah, I'm very interested in that Stream Deck hardware. It looks super nifty. It is super nifty, and you're not limited to just the buttons you see either. You can build in a menu system. So if you get one of the smaller ones that say only has 6 buttons or 15 buttons, make one of those buttons like a menu button, and you press it once, it goes to page 2. Press it again, goes to page 3. So you can have an unlimited number of buttons. It's just that how many do you want to have immediate access to, with just one click away. If you want more than 15, then the Stream Deck XL is what you'd need. Yeah, super cool. Can you show how you manage people's comments on your screen using the camera that is behind your left shoulder? Are you using StreamYard to manage those comments? Yes, I am. And I will show you the best way to do this. Okay. I'll activate that camera. Actually, first, let me, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I have two wires coming from this camera, going to this camera. This one here, oh, you can't, it's blurry unless my face is beside it. This one here is to the battery. Okay, it's not running on battery. It's a dummy battery I have plugged into the wall, so I can run it. I can have a 5-hour live stream if I want. So that's what this one is. This one is an HDMI out that goes to my A10 Mini, or it's what could go to my A10 Mini is my hardware switcher. The thing that I'm pressing buttons. This thing here. Oh, let me hide your comment. This here is the A10 Mini, and I have button here, button here. See, I'm toggling between these two buttons. There's actually 4. I could hook up 4 cameras to this, but I only have 2. So I'm just toggling between 1 and 2. Okay. So HDMI out from this camera to the A10 Mini, also from that camera to the A10 Mini, and then I can switch. And then it's a USB out of the A10 Mini into my computer. Okay. And the computer recognizes that as a webcam, as one single webcam that OBS would recognize, that StreamYard is recognizing for me. So that's how that works. So that's why I have two wires in this camera. So let me take this camera off. just going to take it off. Okay. Hope I don't press a button that I. Okay. So actually, big difference with this camera here. See this flip up screen. So the camera, the A6000 is older than the A6400. Um, and there's a few things that it does differently. So this little screen doesn't flip all the way up. It only flips up part way like this. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. But anyways, it works for what I need it to work, for what I need it to do. Now let me switch camera views right here. All right. Let me get this closer. You wanted to see my StreamYard. Okay, sorry. You were talking about the Stream Deck. That's it there. And as you can see, I have all the buttons programmed. I have Audition here, Camtasia, and so on. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. It looks a little suspect in my view. Um, so up here, this monitor up here, my microphone's in the way a little bit. This is where I'm showing my StreamYard. This is my StreamYard tab. Okay. Um, I can't get this. Oh, I can zoom in. What am I talking about? Yeah, I can zoom in. Okay. Oh, that's getting kind of funky. So this is StreamYard. And so these are the tabs I was talking about. So that's the comments tab. There's the banners tab. Okay. That's where I can turn these banners on and off. The want my new book banner on and off. And you can create custom ones. Then the brand right here, where I can, add that book overlay or that overlay there. Yeah, that's looking kind of funny. And then comments right there. If I click the comments tab, oh wait, now let me get rid of the this overlay. If I click the comments, then it shows all the comments right here. Okay, so I can scroll all the way to the top, and here are all the comments that came in on the live stream. Okay, these are the chat. Sorry, I'm calling them comments. These are the chats, the live chats that have come in through YouTube. Wow, that's a funky looking picture. And all I have to do to show them is here. As I hover over them, you can see it says show. So if I just click show, there it is. It pops up on the screen right there. See? Hide, and you just toggle it. Okay? So that's how I'm using it. And with that on that screen, then up on my top screen is where I show, here's the YouTube chats. Okay. So this is basically the same thing as this. Okay. So sorry, as a YouTube chat comes in, StreamYard picks that up. Since I have my StreamYard connected to YouTube, when a YouTube chat comes in, StreamYard also displays it on their software, and that's what gives me the ability to select them like this and have them show up. Okay, um, super cool and hard to do with OBS. Okay, I think there are some hack ways around it so that you can do it with OBS, but this just works so slick, and to me, it's well worth the money. The other really good thing about StreamYard is the ability to stream to multiple locations at the same time. I'm not taking advantage of that right now because I'm only streaming on YouTube. But if you say you wanted to stream on YouTube and LinkedIn and Amazon and Facebook and wherever else, you can stream to all those places at the same time, um, but only sending your signal up to the internet once. So I'm sending this up to StreamYard once. StreamYard and their servers, they then take that and send it to wherever, Facebook, YouTube, wherever else you want to stream to. So that's super handy for somebody like me, if and when I do take advantage of that. Somebody like me who has a poor upload connection. My upload connection is only 10 megabits per second. My download is 900 and something, so it's great. but my upload is capped at 10 because the local uh, cable company is where we get our internet, and I don't have fiber op available here yet. Hopefully, we will soon. But as of right now, I'm saddled with 10 megabits per second up. However, what I've found is that it seems to be working just fine for these live streams. There don't seem to be too many dropped connections. 10 seems to be working just fine. Okay. Let me just see before I put this camera down. Let me just see if there's any other questions about it. Okay. So this is, you asked about the comments. Is it StreamYard that is bringing up people's comments into the stream, or is that OBS? I guess I'm confused on what StreamYard does versus what OBS does while live streaming. Okay, you don't use both. You use OBS or StreamYard. I'm using only StreamYard. I'm not using OBS at all. I've never used OBS live. I have it installed. I have played around with it a little bit, but I've never used it going live. I'm going to put this other camera down. Okay, so this is 100% all StreamYard. Have you reached 4,000 hours watched yet? No, I have not. So I believe you're talking about YouTube and what you need to get monetized. I have not. I'm going to hit, it looks like I'm going to hit the one. So two things you need to get monetized on YouTube are 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched videos. I'm currently at, last I checked, about 810 or so subscribers. So I'm getting close, and at my current pace, should hit 1,000 late May or early June, mid June, somewhere around then. It's been pretty consistent month to month. Um, Currently getting about 130 new subscribers a month, which is awesome. I really appreciate it. Um, but the watch hours, where am I? I'm going to pull this up really quick, and we'll see. If I click on the monetization, I'm currently at 1,601 hours. Okay. So that's in my last 12 months. So you need to hit 4,000 watch hours within your last 12 months. Okay. To get monetized. And monetized means I can start earning advertising revenue from the ads that Google is placing on my videos. Okay. So right now, if any of you watch one of my videos and an ad pops up, like say an ad pops up along the bottom down here, right? Or if the video cuts away and an ad plays, a video ad, uh, companies are paying for those ad spots. YouTube is collecting the revenue for those ads, um, and for videos that are monetized, for channels that are monetized, YouTube or Google shares that revenue, that ad revenue, with the owners of the videos. So, but until you get monetized, there's no sharing. So YouTube, Google, well, I mean, YouTube is owned by Google, so I use the two kind of interchangeably. But YouTube ad revenue that is collected by YouTube from my videos, currently they keep it all. Um, Once I get monetized, I will then be able to apply. I believe that's how it works, to participate in their partner program, which I will then be able to earn some revenue from my YouTube videos. So 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. That's what I need to get there. And even when that happens, so I'm guessing, so even though it's only 1,600 watch hours in the last year, because I've been posting more and more often, and also these live streams help. If I just go to my channel analytics, um, so in the last month, I've had 328.8 hours of watch. So if I were to multiply that out, 328.8, say, and that's a month, so times 12. So right now, I'm on pace to getting about 3,845 hours in a year. So I'm pretty much there on average, but I have to maintain that for a full year. So I'm hopeful that maybe September, October, November of next year is when I'll get there. but I'm not holding my breath. That's not the goal here. That will be eventually, hopefully, a nice passive income that I'll earn from this channel. But I can't. In all the videos that I've watched on this, I can't focus on getting monetized because it's not the be all and end all. Once you get monetized, my first monthly check from Google might be 15 bucks, 30 bucks a month. So it's not going to be a lot. Um, and even then, I think you need a minimum of that of $100 earned before they pay out to you. So um, that's not what the focus is. That will happen when it happens. But until then, I'm just going to keep producing content that I hope you guys want to see. That's kind of the goal. So I'm trying to build an audience of like-minded people who want to learn what I have to teach. So far, it's been a lot of Camtasia stuff. Starting to get into more live stream stuff. And Fiverr stuff. And I'm also going to kind of roll into just in general running an online business from home, office kind of videos and content. So that's where I'm going. That's where eventually this will go. I'm never going to stop using Camtasia, even when I slow down on the quick tip Camtasia videos. That's always going to be part of what I do because I use it every day. And I love it. So, anyways, yeah, that's again, we're at an hour and 16 minutes in. Thanks for sticking with me so long. We still have, we got 7 people watching. Woohoo, the diehards. um, yeah, but I've got a bad habit of, my answers are a lot longer than the questions are, put it that way. uh, Mine is blurry. I run f1.8. I get a lot of compliments on it. Um, Okay, when you say yours is blurry, I believe you're talking about your background with 1.8. Absolutely, it would be blurry. So that's see, it also depends on how far away your background is from you, right? So the F number isn't the only thing. It's just that if you're confined to a small office space and there's not a lot of room behind you, like this room here is less than 10 by 10. I think it's about 9.5 by 9.5 feet. Small bedroom converted into an office, right? So there's not a lot of space. There's probably 6 feet behind me till you get to, or 5 to 6 feet before you get to that plant. Um, if I used my other camera, that would probably with an f, say 5.6, the background would not be blurry. Um, the way to get a blurry background with a higher f number is to have the background further away. So if you could film yourself in a room that's 20 feet long, 30 feet long, the background will be blurry probably no matter what f-stop your camera is set to. If you're, if the camera is focusing on your face and then there's a lot of room behind you before the next object, that next object will be blurry. So that's but the f number, and I'm not sure exactly how it all works. Again, I'm not a photography expert, but f1.8, I know that's considered low as well. And that might even be as low as you can go with a 50 mil. I'm not sure. Whereas f1 point, what am I? I'm 1.4 with the 16 mil. So they're all kind of linked somehow. Any of you photography uh, gurus out there can maybe explain it better than I am. I'm at 2,700 watch hours. Congrats. That's awesome. I can't wait till I'm there. I still have a ways to go for monetization. How you doing, Rob, on watch hours? I'm sure live streams easily help with that. So I've heard. Yes. Yeah, as I just mentioned, I'm currently at 1,600 total watch hours, which is so quite a bit less than you. Um, but a lot of them have come in the last 2 months. So I'm currently getting around 300 and some, 330 or so watch hours a month. My daily watch hours uh, fluctuate. And when I do a live stream like this, absolutely it helps. So right now I'm averaging anywhere from 9 to 15 watch hours per day. So basically, if somebody watches, a 10-minute video of mine, but they only watch 4 minutes of it, only 4 minutes count towards that. Okay. Um, And so the more videos you have, the more potential for more people to watch them, and your watch hours would go up. The more popular the videos are, obviously, your watch hours go up faster. So, but live streams. So if I'm averaging on a non-live stream day, if I'm averaging, say 10 watch hours in a day, which incidentally is pretty much what you need to average over the course of a year. So if you go, 4,000 hours divided by 365 days, you get 10.9. So, all right. 10, yeah, you need to average 10.9 watch hours a day over the course of a year to get to the monetization level. When I live stream, I get up to like 25 hours in a day on a live stream day. And even the next day has a boost. Maybe it's 15 or so. So, so yeah, that definitely it helps me. Everybody's channel is different. Probably depend. Like if I live streamed more, I may get less views. Right now I'm doing it once a week, but if I live streamed every day, not everybody's going to tune in every day to something like this. I don't think, anyways. That's it's kind of a trial and error. Right now I'm aiming for an hour, 1 to 2 hours a week, once a week. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe I will live stream on a Tuesday or a Saturday or a different time, maybe twice in 1 week, and just see what that does. If that's what you guys want, that's what I'll do. Again, I'm having lots of fun with it. So uh, this channel I will basically go in whatever direction you guys want me to. So there you go. The one live stream I did still gets a fair amount of views. Also, I don't feel like I have to do tons of days of editing to release the video. Um, yeah. Do you mean to release the live stream video? Um, because yeah, I don't edit my live streams at all. So the way it works with YouTube is once I do the live stream, within, I think almost immediately, I think it is immediate. As soon as I finish the live stream, it's up on my channel for people to watch again. Even now, I'm in the middle of my live stream. Somebody can open this up and rewind to the beginning and start watching at the beginning if they want. That's just the way it works. So no editing at all, and I don't do any editing of the video afterwards. So live streams just go up the way they are and they stay up. There's some debate on whether or not you should leave live streams on your channel to be watched later, and whether or not that will dilute the main content of your channel. I suppose that really depends on what your channel is, what you're teaching, what you're sharing, that your content. Um, so far, I've been leaving my live streams up. I don't see the harm in that, and mine do get rewatched as well. Even after I've done a live stream 1 week, I'll see that a live stream I did 2 weeks ago will have several views. Maybe not all the way through, but yeah, no, I think it's a great additional way to get additional watch time. Um, so yeah, your setup looks great, Rob. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Spent a lot of time setting it up and a lot of money too. uh, oh my, what is that device behind your A10 Mini? Oh, does this work? All right. That guy there. So that's the ATEM right there. That is the DBX 286S. So what that does, I'm not even sure if you can tell. Um, let me press a button on the, it's to do with audio. Let me just press this button called process bypass. When I press this button, you should hear a change in the tone of my voice. So let me know if you can hear the difference. There, now I'm bypassing the DBX 286S. Okay, it's as if it's not even in the chain, but it's in my audio chain. So my microphone is going not just directly into that. That is my audio interface. Okay, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Instead, my microphone is going into that, the DBX 286S first, and then you can play with all these knobs to add a noise gate, increase your like equalize, right? So what are the things? You got a de-esser, you have an enhancer, you can enhance the low frequency, the high frequency, you've got expander gate, compressor, preamps, so all that. And let me just press this button again to turn it back on. There. So now, hopefully you can hear a difference. And if I've got these knobs adjusted right, my voice should sound better now through my mic. So the mic's going through that, then it goes into the Focusrite. And if you notice, I don't have the gain on. See the gain? So this knob right here, that's off. That's my gain for my audio. And I have it off there because I've got the gain on the DBX 286S. So you don't want to use both. Or if you do, they both have to be a little bit lower. Again, I'm not a sound engineer. This is some stuff that I picked up. So the DBX 286S is a way to live transform your voice. Okay, make it sound better on the fly. I only use this for live streams. I do not use it when I'm recording my voice. Um, uh, when I record my voice, so when I'm making a video tutorial or my videos for YouTube, I don't use the 286S, the DBX 286S. I turn that off, and instead I record into Adobe Audition, right? So that's an Adobe sound editor recorder. Okay, Audacity is another one you could use. You could even record directly into Camtasia, but I don't. I record into Adobe Audition, and then I enhance my voice. I have a couple of settings that I've changed to add a little bit of bass, to add a little bit of treble, to add a bit of noise gate to cut out some of the room noise, and just to make the audio sound better. And I do that in post or in the editing stage. But when I'm live stream, obviously there's no opportunity to do that in post because there is no post editing. I'm live streaming. So that allows me, and it's not that expensive. I want to say it was a couple $100. It was not as expensive as some of this stuff here. So I think it's pretty cool. So I hope that helped answer your question. Oh, wow. This is so helpful. Seeing StreamYard in action. Great. Glad you liked it. I'll share anything here that you want to see. I'd like to stream to Facebook and LinkedIn too, so StreamYard will manage all comments from all those sources. I believe so. I have not done that, but I can try to find out for you for sure. But I believe, yes, like if you look at, again, if you look at my StreamYard, if you look at those comments, you can see the little YouTube symbol, right here by everybody's avatar. Okay, that's because that comment came in via YouTube. So I presume that if comments are coming in through, wherever else, LinkedIn or Facebook, that it would have their little logo there, and you'd be able to tell where the comments are coming from. Is my guess. I've never done it though. I first started my channel 6 years ago, but it was more of an experiment. I recently returned. The lifetime of the channel is 11,000 hours. I should have stuck with it. Well, you could have stuck with it, but here you are now. I'm not a big fan of looking backwards. Just look forward. I wouldn't focus so much on how many hours total you have now. Look at what you have done in the last 7 days, and the last 28 days, and the last 90 days, and see if there's a trend. See if you're increasing. And I'd be willing to bet the more you keep posting to YouTube, and following the advice of the people you're posting for, giving them what they want, you should see a growth in those. So if your 7-day average watch hours is larger than your 28-day, is larger than your 90-day, and so on down the line, you're growing, and that's a positive, and that's what you want to do. So yeah, if your channel is stagnant and you stop posting, if you stop posting to it, then yeah, obviously it'll start to go down. The watch hours will, unless you hit you get a viral video on your channel and it just takes off for whatever reason. But I don't count on that happening. That's awesome when it does. Hasn't happened to me yet, but I have one video that does a lot better than the others. but it's not what I would call viral. My most watched video gets over, I think it's around 1,500 views. Is that a month? Let me just double check here. Dashboard, channel analytics, top videos. So, uh, see more. Hang on now. So in the last 28 days, my top video, yeah, so 1,400 views, and then my next most watched is 500 views. So yeah, I've got one that's three times, it gets three times more views consistently every month than all the others, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It's the one, create a professional intro for a video tutorial using Camtasia Studio 2021. It's that one that I made over a year ago. And it took time. For the longest time, my most watched video was how to move subtitles or captions up in your screen in Camtasia. But about 6 months after both of those videos were posted, this video tutorial intro video took over the top spot. And it's been the number one ever since. So, still a bit of a mystery to me, but having fun trying to figure it out all the same. Now I'm at 1,200 hours. Yeah, so you've gone down from the 11,000. So 1,200 hours, is that last 28 days? That's not a small number. If it is, that's not bad. Um, yeah, keep it up, man. Thanks. Just going right through all the comments here. Again, we're an hour and a half into this live stream, but I will stay here as long as you want me to. I'm just going to keep going down through these answers. Maybe I won't spend as much time on each one because I tend to be long-winded, and I have about 8 questions left here. Um, but I've got nowhere else to go. I'll stay here as long as it increases the watch hours, right? So why not? Um, and I want to help you guys as much as I can. So, do you schedule your live stream sessions from StreamYard, and it tells YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., that you're about to go live ahead of time? I've done it both ways. So, most of the time, yes, I schedule it. Now, the first one or two, I did not. I just made it that morning, and then I clicked live when I was ready, and I went. Um, but now, so for this one, I posted the thumbnail for this, and I created it in StreamYard, which, so I set this all up in StreamYard. I don't have to do anything in YouTube. Uh, in StreamYard, I upload the thumbnail, and I set the live stream with a title and a description, and I set the schedule. So I did this last night, and I scheduled it for today at 12 Eastern. And then I can enter the studio or leave it, or enter it or leave it as often as I want to. I did once I set it up last night, I left it, and then this morning I entered the studio. I didn't create any new overlays for this one. I've used the same ones that I used last week, so there was no prep work. But if you do have prep work, you want to create overlays and upload them, you can enter this. You can enter the broadcast studio in StreamYard, and that doesn't make you go live. Once you're in the studio, there's a button at the top that says click here to go live. And when you click that, it then says, are you sure you want to go live? So click it again, then you're live. But until you do that, you're just testing it out and seeing how it works. Testing out the comments. So yeah, I schedule it now, because when I schedule it, as long as I schedule it at least an hour before, so more than an hour before I go live, then my subscribers may or may not get notified that I'm about to go live. So it depends on how their notifications are set up. So if you subscribe to my channel and you say, yes, send me all notifications, then I believe you will get a notification an hour before I go live, and then a half hour before I go live, and then when I go live. I think that's how it works. If you're not subscribed, you won't get that. Or if you are subscribed but you don't click for notifications, you won't get that. Um, and when I say get the notifications, I get notifications on my phone because I've downloaded both the YouTube app and the YouTube Studio app to my iPhone, and I believe I get notified through both. Um, that when the channels that I'm subscribed to, when they go live, I get notified. So yeah, if you schedule it, then your subscribers will be notified before you go live. And the other thing I've been doing lately is I've been putting basically an ad in my own videos. I'm trying to keep it real short, but I want, when I release a video or two during the week, I want to tell people, oh, and Thursday I'm going live. So that's another way I'm trying to get it out there that I'm going live. So yeah, that's what I do. You got a new sub, Office Mystic. Hey, there you go. I will subscribe too. Office Mystic, have you thought about bringing in those spreadsheets into Power Apps? Highly recommended. You're plugging your own service now. That's all right. Cool. What do we got next here? We got a few more Power Apps tutorials. Thanks. Our channels are related a bit. I subscribe too. I am so glad I've been able to bring you guys together. That's awesome. You could probably create a few more gigs, Rob. YouTube, Camtasia, Fiverr, coaching. Yeah, I could. I could, but I think uh see, Fiverr keeps me real busy. I'm real busy with the way Fiverr is now. Um so much so that I don't have as much time as I would like to devote to building the other side of my business, and that's the website, which will include YouTube and Camtasia and Fiverr coaching. That's going to be available on my website. Not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but probably there's going to be courses, free and paid. There's going to be perhaps some one-on-one sessions that I'm going to make myself available for, like Zoom chats, things like that. Of course, I will always answer any questions for free on my YouTube channel in the comments and the live chat. That's what this is all about. And in the course of doing that, hopefully that will, my business will also grow in time. I'm kind of setting this up for the future. So I don't know that I want to create Fiverr gigs for the coaching that I want to do. Um, but I certainly could. You're right. You're right. I might look into that if I find more time. I need to somehow turn days into 28-hour days instead of 24 hours. I don't know. If you know how I can do that, that'd be great. Get 4 more hours a day. Wouldn't that be awesome? I tried toying with Davinci Resolve, but it's not as easy. I agree. I don't think I've tried that one, but I've certainly seen videos on it. It looks very powerful. In fact, it's made by the same people that make this A10 Mini here, Black Magic. One of the cool things about this A10 Mini, if I just show you again, that guy there, A10 Mini Pro, made by Black Magic. You can control Blackmagic cameras with this. So you can control volume up and down, turn them on and off, all kinds of things. They're right up. I don't know if you can see the Blackmagic logo up there. Yeah. Anyways, they also make Davinci Resolve, and they have a version of this A10 Mini Pro called the A10 Mini Pro ISO. It's more expensive than this one, but it also records each camera input separately. So I have two cameras. I've been switching back and forth, right? StreamYard and YouTube is recording that, but they're only recording what I'm showing. So now it's recording this. Now it's recording that view. Great view. um, but the ISO version of this will record all or both of my channels, or all four if you had four cameras hooked into it, independently. Not only that, but it also creates a DaVinci Resolve file that includes all four of those video inputs saved in a DaVinci file. In addition, it creates a DaVinci Resolve file that is automatically edited exactly the way you made your live stream. So, in other words, if I press to go here, I just changed camera views. Let me just put this camera there. When I'm as I'm so that was I'm changing views. If I want it to be a more fade, how's this working now? No. turn that off. I think I've messed this up. There. I don't know if you noticed that, but you can fade in and out of views. I haven't been taking advantage of that, but it's something you can do. Uh, so that fade transition, that effect would get recorded and put into an edited Davinci Resolve file, all completely done for you. You could then open it up in Davinci Resolve and change it if you want. So very powerful stuff. Not something I think I would take advantage of. I don't use Davinci Resolve. Uh, I currently am just using Camtasia. So, but yeah, something else to think about that you could do. Tutorial power apps are my next step in my evolution. Perfect. Yeah, blurry background. I also put tiny lights that really help with that too. Yes, it would. I have one right there, little light there. uh, I'd love to see or hear how your YouTube stats are on your videos, Rob. On my longer videos, my retention is really low, like 10% or lower. A 10-minute video, I'm around 40% retention. Yeah. Let me see if I can watch times, impressions, click through rate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. I'm not see content. Not even exactly sure where to find that. Um, I know if I click on the analytics for each video, um, okay, now that's where they're from. Yeah, I don't even know where to find the retention. Where is this? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so the last video I made was longer than most of them. So my quick tip number 14, the complex line animations video. I don't know if this is the best way to show you. And using this, that's what that graph looks like from my most recent video. So dropped off pretty quick. Uh, Stayed above the 33% mark for most of the way. Average percentage viewed is 27.4%. Average view duration 4 minutes 31 seconds. Yeah, there's a lot of. Does this help? Let's pick another one here. Analytics. Okay, so there's it got a lot of views early on, and then still getting some views going on. So this is from subscribers. Typically, they'll be notified within the first day or so that I came up with a video, and they'll watch it. If you scroll down further, this kind of shows the retention. So this is an average line. So at about a minute 24 in, 67% are still watching this video, which is good, I think. And it looks like 38% watched 6.5 minutes of the 7.5 minute video, which I think is pretty good. But I haven't really analyzed that that much. I probably should analyze that more, and I will. But there's so much stuff, so much to all of this. Um, so perhaps we can all kind of learn about this together. We'll just keep asking questions, Rob, so you can never sign off. Haha. All right. Well, I will sign off eventually. This is a record though, an hour 43 in. We're still going strong. Still got people watching too. I see 6 people still watching. Thanks for sticking in. Yeah, meaning when I create a non-live video, I spend tons of time editing and the live sounds so great. No editing. Yeah, absolutely. So today, like when I sign off, this is going to be 2 hours or so video that I did not have to edit at all. Edit it on the fly with this, pressing some buttons and some overlays and stuff. But other than that, there's no editing, so it's awesome. Because perhaps I think what you're saying is when you edit a video to post on YouTube, it takes you a long time to edit it, and that it takes me a long time too. I'm getting quicker at it, and I think the more I do it, the quicker and the better I'll get at it. Um, for me, a lot of it comes down to knowing what I want to say, um, and getting it right the first time. So I think the more comfortable I get speaking by looking into the camera, then the less I will have to cut out. Okay. Also, the longer the video is that you're making and editing down to, the longer it's going to take you to do it too. So, yeah, I think practice makes perfect as far as that goes. Um, excuse me. Which one is better? So, Amir Dunder, thank you. That's a new name. Thank you for watching the live stream. Sorry, it's taking me some time to get to your question. It looks like it was about 15 minutes ago. But which one is better, Adobe Premiere or Camtasia? Depends what you want to use it for. If you want to make video tutorials, then I recommend Camtasia, 100%. With Adobe Premiere, there may be more video editing features in that, which undeniably that's true. But there is also, in my opinion, a steeper learning curve for learning how to use it. Um, and if you're making video tutorials, there's no screen recording part of Adobe Premiere. You'd need to use another software to do that. So you'd need to use either Camtasia Studio or um, I think Snagit by Camtasia as well is something you can use. You can use QuickTime. You can use Windows Media Player, I think. I've never used that. Um, or OBS. You can use OBS Studio to record your screen. So there's a bunch of free ways to do it and some paid ways. As with anything, the paid versions are usually better to record your screen. But if you're just looking for something to edit videos only, and you're not going to be you're not going to be showing screen time or video tutorials, then maybe Adobe Premiere is the way to go. It all depends on your tolerance for learning as well. So if it takes you a long time to learn complicated software, it might take a while to learn Premiere Pro, or at least to learn everything it can do. It can do a lot, like a lot. Um, People make feature films with software like that. Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut on a Mac. Final Cut Pro is another really good one. Davinci Resolve is another good one. They're all high end um, software packages. I have Adobe Premiere Pro, and I have been dabbling in it and learning it slowly. And I think it's going to be better for just making videos. So, like if I take my camera outside and I want to make, which I kind of want to do that too. I've seen other people on other channels do maybe like an intro that has them, living whatever, like a day in the life of, like, maybe I take my camera around with me outside and show you the ocean, which is literally 20 feet that way. And yeah, just kind of show where I live, and it can be and whether I post videos like that on this channel or another channel I create that might have something to do with, it's more local based. Just kind of showing off where I'm from. That would be that's something I'd like to get into, and I think making videos like that might be easier. Maybe not easier, but I'd be able to do more with Premiere Pro than with Cam. One of the things with Camtasia I've noticed is as a video gets really long, it can start to slow down. And that may be a function of how many jump cuts I'm putting into my videos. The more editing you do, uh, obviously the slower the program will get. I have a very good computer. It's a Ryzen 9 processor. I've got a good video graphics card. I've got lots of RAM, but still it'll slow down if the video gets too long. And I think maybe Premiere Pro might handle that a little bit better, and also have another, some more effects and whatnot. But yeah, which one is better? It really depends what you're going to use it for. Again, everything that I've made here, everything you've seen on my channel, if you've watched my channel videos, everything has been made with Camtasia. Nothing with Premiere Pro. Uh, Power App says, "Wow, DBX looks fancy." Yeah, it does. And in fact, I don't know why they made it as bulky as they did. Um, it's a hardware. It's modifying the audio through hardware rather than software is the difference. So when I modify my voice afterwards um, using Adobe Audition, or if you use Audacity or any other audio editing tool, um, that's modifying the audio with software, okay, which you could undo. Um, if I run my voice through this DBX 286S, which I'm doing now, So I'll press this button again. Now it's not going through the DBX. Now it is going through the DBX. I am I'm not hard coding, but I am altering the sound before it even gets into the computer. Okay? So there's no way to undo this. The changes that I've made to my voice through the DBX that you're now hearing, I can't undo that in post, in editing later on, right? Because this is how my voice now is because it's gone through this voice synthesizer, if you will, and making the changes on the fly. So if you don't want to alter, change, destroy, whatever your voice, um, because you want to make changes to it afterwards, then my advice would be to not use something like this, and only use something like this if you want to enhance your voice live. So that's what I'm doing. Wow, another device, that red one, wild, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool, man. Uh, okay, let me show you. Yes, it is cool. I've had it a while. You're talking about that guy. That's my audio interface. So if you have, you may or may not need one, depending on your microphone. So I use this microphone I have is a shotgun mic, but that's not what makes me need an audio interface. It's this connection. I'll show you right here. This connection right here is, put it in focus. That is an XLR microphone connection. I don't know if you heard that because I wasn't speaking into it. Shotgun microphones, you have to speak right into it. If you're off to the side, you can't hear it as well as if you're right in front of it. That's just the nature of a shotgun mic. It allows me to eliminate a lot of the noise room as well because it's only picking up noise from this direction. So anyways, XLR mics need to be plugged into an audio interface, and then the audio interface connects to your computer through a USB. Um, if you're using, if you don't have an audio interface, then you need to use what's called a USB mic. So your microphone has to be the kind that has a USB out and plugs directly into your computer. Okay, so there are some really good USB mics. In general, XLR mics are better. It's more the industry standard. That's what you'll see musicians using, plugging their instruments into, or their voice. That's what podcast producers are using. Um, there's typically less noise in the line. USB mics, there can be more of a floor noise or more background noise that gets transmitted into your computer if you're using a USB mic. But having said that, there are some USB mics that are better than others. So, but in general, on average, so if a USB mic can be anywhere from $50 to $300, maybe an XLR mic can be anywhere from a couple hundred to thousands of dollars. All depends on how much you're willing to spend for the clarity of your audio. So that's what I use. I think I got that when I started offering voiceover service on Fiverr. That's when I moved from a USB mic to this. Actually, it wasn't this mic that I used first. I used the Rode NT1A, which I don't have it here to show you because I gave it to my son. He uses it in his live streams. I used that for my voice audio work, for my voiceovers on my video tutorials and my voiceovers in my voiceover gigs. But I've since changed to the shotgun mic. And as long as I don't do a lot of moving around like this, which I don't when I'm doing voiceovers, I usually put it right to the side, so I'm speaking this way and not directly into it. As long as I don't move my head around a lot, then it'll pick up just fine. So, da, 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 da. Mysterious India, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Camtasia Studio automatically open when screen record off. Help me, sir. There is no any option to prevent it. Okay, I think what you're asking. So when you have Camtasia open and you want to do a screen recording, you click the record button. Just share my screen here. click the record button up here. Okay. When you click that record button, actually, I can do that. Can I do that? When you click the record button, let me just minimize this. Oh yeah, okay. So this is not really going to work. This can't pick up my camera because my camera is being used by StreamYard. But yeah, when you click to record, Camtasia minimizes, right? And no, I don't believe there's any way to prevent that. However, now that I'm ready to record, I can go down to my. You're not going to see this. Let me just turn this banner off and let me hide your comment for a second and let me hide myself. So if I come down here to basically click on Camtasia here again, that'll bring it back up. Now I can record Camtasia with Camtasia, if that makes sense. So no, I don't believe there's any way to stop um, Camtasia from minimizing when you press record. Not that I know of, anyways. But just click to make it big again, and then that's a way to get around that. Um, yeah. Uh, I can't take 4K HD videos on Camtasia. I've had a problem doing that too. I've edited 4K videos on Camtasia, no problem at all. If my clients will send me a 4K video and they want subtitles added to it or logos or whatever, I've been able to edit them, no problem. But when I record live, I have had troubles recording myself in 4K. So I haven't done it. I haven't figured out how to do it right. And it might be the limitation of how much um, how much information you can send through the HDMI cord that I'm using. That might be a limiting factor. I'm not sure. But uh, also, it depends on how you're getting the signal from your camera into your computer, right? So you'd have to make sure. I'm just thinking out loud. I have the same issues, but if I was to try to solve that, I'd look at my HDMI lines. So the line out. If you're using an adapter to go from mini HDMI to regular size HDMI, and then maybe into a hardware switcher, and then into your computer, all of those connections need to be able to handle 4K. So that's your first thing. Um, and then even then, your computer needs to be able to process it as well. It needs to be able to record it. So that may require a faster processor than you have to be able to handle that. And maybe that's my issue too. But my answer to that has been that I have not made 4K videos for YouTube yet. If I were going to make a 4K video for YouTube, um, I would record it not into Camtasia, but I'd record it to one of these guys. Um, SD card. I don't know how to make this. It always wants to. There you go. SD card. Record it to that. Put that in your camera. Record to that, and then pop this out. Put it in your computer and import it that way, and then edit it. So, but I haven't seen the need for me to go to 4K, so I haven't done that. But if that's what you need to do, that's what. And you can't figure out the lines. That's what I would look at doing. So hopefully that helps. Rob, have you thought you might grow faster if you had a profile on those other platforms and stream to those too? I have, and I may well do that, but I'm just not there yet. I have so many things on the go. um, Again, starting with my website, that's kind of next thing. Once the website's done, see, I don't have. I mean, I have a personal Facebook account, but I don't have a business Facebook account. I need to create one. I have a well, Twitter. I don't use Twitter personally, but I have an old, like, my previous business that I don't run anymore. I have a Twitter account for that, but it's not really applicable. Um, and then I also want to get on Instagram. I've never really used that personally or for business. My daughter uses Instagram a lot, so I'm going to lean on her a little bit for her help. But yeah, I want to get the Facebook business account, Twitter, Instagram. Um, what else? I've even heard Pinterest might be a good one, another way to drive traffic. So yeah, I eventually want to have accounts on all of those. But right now the focus is, well, obviously YouTube is the main one. and I'm focused on making the website. But those other things, hopefully, a lot of those other pieces will fall into line, into place before the year's out. So that's what I'm hoping. Which StreamYard package did you go with? Uh, let me see. Let me see. I am going to share my screen. I go to StreamYard. Oh, that shows my broadcast. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this. No, that didn't do it. That I am going to open an incognito window and go to StreamYard, which means I'm not logged in here. So this is what you see when you go to StreamYard. Um, If I go to pricing, that'll show me. Here we go. So here are the packages. So you can start for free, like I mentioned. Um, Now, what are the differences? So if you go basic, I'm trying to remember which one I went. I think I went with basic, but let me just double check here. 10 on screen participants. So far, it's only ever been me. So what this means is so now that I'm live, I could copy a link um, to my stream and either text it to somebody else or email it to somebody else. That somebody else can then click on it and then they will be added to my broadcast studio. And then I can click to have them show up. So I can basically have what will look like a one-on-one Zoom call with somebody and be live streaming that at the same time. So what this 10 means is I can bring up to 10 other people into my live stream. Um, if you went with Pro, no, I think it's still just 10. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, that's not something I've taken advantage of yet. At some point, I do plan on doing that. I want to get into like there's other people that I follow on YouTube, people that I've learned a lot of things from, other people that are doing similar to what I'm doing, maybe some other Fiverr sellers. I'd like to do some interviews of some of these other people and do them in a live stream eventually, so that you guys, if that's something you guys want to see me do, then let me know, because it's something I've thought about doing. I'm just not quite there yet. But if you want me to kind of push that to the front of the line, let me know, and I'll do that. So yeah, so the basic allows you up to 10 on-screen participants. Your logo, which I do use, overlays I use, backgrounds I use, custom RTMP destinations I don't use. I'm just broadcasting to YouTube. Pre-recorded streams, I have not done that. Recording 6 hours per stream, multi-stream 3 destinations. Okay, well, here's what we're talking about. So again, I'm not multi-streaming. I'm only streaming to YouTube. So this right here tells me that if you wanted to multi-stream to more than 3 places, you need to go with the Pro plan. Or if you want more than 6 hours per stream of recording, so StreamYard is recording this as well. Okay. If you want more than 6 hours, then you would choose the Pro plan, which allows up to 10 hours. Okay. Um, Based on what I see here, uh, basic is all I need, and I think that's what I have. Um, but the reason I went basic as opposed to free, the main thing was HD quality. I wanted to be able to stream at 1080p minimum. And that's all you can do with StreamYard with the basic or the professional plan. But the free plan only allows you to stream at 720p, which is, uh, I think it's still considered HD, but it's kind of old HD. It's not as HD as 1080p. So I wanted to be able to do that. The recording options to record 6 hours per stream, I don't know if I'm going to take advantage. I mean, it is recording but YouTube is recording them as well. And since I'm leaving them up on YouTube, I don't see why I would need to also have it recorded by StreamYard. So I don't need that. But what might make me want to upgrade from basic to pro? Uh, is if I wanted multi-stream to more than 3 destinations. It looks like that's what would be the factor for me. Um, oh, wait. The professional plan says full HD 1080p. Okay, so basic doesn't if I'm reading this right, basic does not give you 1080p. It's only 720. So I must have the professional plan. I don't even remember. I signed up for a year, I think, and it was about 8 months ago. Um, so I guess in another 4 months I'll find out when I when when I'm billed again for my next year. But 1080p for me, so worth it. Um, Again, though, if you don't want all the functionality of the overlays and being able to display the chats here, um, maybe you don't even need StreamYard. Maybe OBS is fine for you. So OBS is free. It's more customizable. Um, Used quite often in the gaming world. OBS often stream to Twitch. That's what my son does. Um, but in my travels in the videos that I've seen and how to set all this up for business purposes, StreamYard was a very highly recommended choice. And I watched their live streams as well, which are very informative, entertaining sometimes. I like the guys and gals over at StreamYard. They do it right. Okay, what does lifetime of Pamela Powers? That's a new name today, so recognize the name though. You've asked a few questions in my videos. Welcome, Pamela. Thanks for stopping in. What does lifetime of the channel is 11 hours mean, or 11,000 hours mean? So what that means is, if you're talking about your own channel, or actually somebody else earlier in the comments mentioned this. Um, if your YouTube channel has 11,000 hours of lifetime, I'm not wording this right. It's referring to the watch hours. Okay. So a channel that says lifetime of the channel is 11,000, K is 1,000. So 11,000 hours. That means that there have been a total, if you add up all of the videos that have been watched and all of the times they've been watched, and how much time each video has been watched, you add up all those times, it'll add up to 11,000 hours. Um, so my channel, for instance, I think my channel, the videos on my channel have been watched over 1,600 hours worth. That makes sense. So if I have a 10-minute video that gets watched on average for 3 minutes, okay, and it's been watched 3,000 times, an average of 3 minutes, then 3,000 times three, that's 9,000 minutes. Okay. So divide that by 60 to get to hours. That's how many hours of watch time that video has contributed to your channel. Okay. So do that for all of the videos in your channel, add them all up, and that's what this 11K hours refers to. And we were talking about this because in order for a YouTube channel to be monetized, that is, in order for you to start earning money on your channel, um, from the Google ad or the YouTube ad revenue, you need to be monetized. And to get monetized, you need 1,000 subscribers. But in addition, you also need to have at least 4,000 hours of watch time in your previous 365 days. Okay. And that's a rolling number. It's not once you hit 4,000 hours, you have to have 4,000 hours within your last 365 days. And if both those two criteria are met, then you're allowed to apply to participate in the revenue share, meaning get monetized by YouTube. Okay, so I hope that helps answer your question. Mysterious India, where are you from? I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. That's where I was born. That's where I currently live. Well, I live about 30 minutes outside of Halifax. But yeah, Nova Scotia, Canada. It's on the east coast of Canada. Um, east of Boston, but south of Maine, if that makes sense. Right on the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. 1,200 hours past 12 months. I'm fine with it. I'm much more dedicated and enthusiastic. Love the attitude. That's good. Keep pressing and you'll get to that 4,000. At Pamela Powers in YouTube Studio, you can check the total hours watched for the entire lifetime of the channel. Yes. So when you're logged into your own channel, go to your YouTube Studio, and that's where you can find out all the stats, how many hours each of your videos have contributed to. Yeah, if you schedule to go live, the thumbnail shows up on my homepage, recommendations. Then I click on it to set a reminder. Perfect. Yes. So, and that's because you're a subscriber. So, any of my subscribers, if they happen to log into YouTube um, within an hour of me going live, my thumbnail will likely show up as a recommended video to watch or something to sign in for. Wow, that's great retention, though. Your line is mostly flat. Very good. You should be proud. Um, think maybe you were talking about Office Mystic. I'm getting behind on my answering the questions. I should speed up a little bit. Gotta run. Have a great day, and I look forward to that Fiverr book. Yes, hopefully you sent me. Excuse me. Hopefully you sent me a message by email. Right here, and I will bring it up here as well. So there's my book. If you want a free copy, send me an email and I will, once this live stream is over, I will send everybody who has asked for it a free copy. Again, this is the way we're doing it until I get my website up and running and a proper form set up and all that. So if you have 50% people sticking around, though, to the middle, that's awesome, in my opinion. Okay, for retention, yes, I think so too. If half the people are watching, and that's why looking at your retention stats is great. So like if I'm looking at up here, oh, wrong monitor, right there. So there's a retention graph of one of my videos. So if if that immediately, oh, if I'm doing this right, if this line up here at the start dropped to below 33% relatively quickly, that means um, I would take away from that that I have to do some work on my intro or the beginning of the video. So people aren't sticking around, right? Um, but if you can keep that relatively high throughout, if you can keep that relatively high throughout most of your video, then that's great. Great retention. And that's a stat. That's something that YouTube looks at when they decide how to rank your videos. I mean, they don't actively decide. They've got a whole algorithm set up that looks at these kinds of things. And videos that are watched more and the people stay watching for longer um, get ranked better and therefore will get more views and so on and so on. So, yeah, I think 50% is good too. Um, I think you will help your post live views by adding in video chapters, which are super easy to add in. Google seems to index and link into that content too. Yes, I think you're right. I haven't done that. I did that over a year ago to one of my first videos. I added chapters to the video that I made. Um, my thinking after that though was maybe I shouldn't be doing that because maybe that's just a reason for somebody not to watch the full video through. Um, and so I stopped doing that. But I hear what you're saying about the live streams. Like this one's over 2 hours long. So um, personally, I wouldn't sit through a two. It'd be very rare for me to want to sit through a 2 hour live stream, especially after the fact, knowing that it's not live anymore and nobody's going to answer my questions immediately. So it would be helpful to have chapters. I have to find the time to do it. so so maybe this is the week. Maybe this is the week that I'll go through this video afterwards and I'll add in those chapters. Did you build your own computer? Yes and no. My son helped me. So I guess yes, he did though. He used there was an online like a computer builder to make sure the motherboard would work with the case that we picked and the graphics card and the power supply, and he helped me set that all up. Liam did, and that's over 2 years ago now. So I've had this computer over 2 years. Wow, and I think that's a record for me. I had been using laptops before that. This is the best computer I've had, the most powerful, um, and it's still fine for me 2 years later. So, I mean, I don't even need to add more RAM. I think I have 16 gigs of RAM in there now, and a decent video card. It's the processor speed that I wanted to be good because, that's what render time that's what'll cut down your render times, right? To render a video. And at the time I was adding subtitles to 2-hour videos, right? Um, and that would take a long time to render. And while my laptop was rendering it, like some renders would be a couple hours or more long. And while the laptop was rendering it, I wasn't able to do anything else. So with this computer, it is so the laptop was an i5, Intel i5 processor. This computer is a Ryzen, I think it's called a Ryzen 9 um, processor, and it renders. I'm going to say at least three, maybe four, about 3.5 times faster than the laptop. So that was a real time saver for me. Plus, while this is rendering, I can still do other things because I don't believe it uses all the cores in my processor. And this is I think it's a 12 core processor. So uh, yeah, at one time I thought I need two laptops, one that can be rendering things and one I could be working on. And I did that for a little while, but this makes more sense. Just get a really fast processor, um, and then make sure all the other bits will fit that processor. Like start with the processor and then build out from that. Say, okay, this is the motherboard I need because I want this many USB-C ports. Say, this is the power supply I'm going to need for it, and then make sure it all fits in a case. So then you pick the case. But I think there's a website that he used, and I forget what it was, that helped him make sure everything would fit together. And then we ordered all the parts from Amazon and built it, and it worked, and it's been working great. Um, come India, sir. Come to India. I'd love to. I've never been. It's a long ways away, so it might be a while before I get there. But I'd love to see it someday. You should come to Canada. Yes, I'd love to see you bring on others, either students or collaborators. Very cool. Yeah, again, that's what I plan to do. Once I get into the coaching side of it through my website, and I help more people kind of one-on-one, once I get that part of my business up and going, then yeah, I may record them, get their permission first, but record our sessions together, and then maybe even bring them back on live. So yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do with StreamYard. So, which camera are you using and its cost? From Dan Mwangi. Thanks, Dan, for the question. So the camera I'm using is the Sony A6400, and I can use this camera to show you a picture of it right there. Oh, there you go. So that's it right there. Sony A6400, and I have um, a lens on it, a Sigma 16 millimeter or 16 millimeter f1.4 lens on it. And the ring I have on that lens, I don't know if you can tell, but there's an extra thick ring around the lens that I have screwed onto the lens. I'll show you what that's for. I haven't used this much, but this here, you see the back of it, that will slide over the lens like that, okay? And then this part down the bottom here, I put my phone on, okay? I'll put my phone on that, and then this, if I slide this off, that's just a mirror. So that's a little handy teleprompter that goes over my camera. I'm holding two different things. I don't know if you're able to hear me but yeah, so that's why I have that funny little adapter thing on my camera, is so that this teleprompter can can attach to it. And That's just one of the things that I've tried in making my videos. One of the things I've tried to try to be more consistent and not have to uh, do as many edits to my video afterwards. I plan on trying to use that a little bit more later, but right now I'm not. Right now I'm still reading one sentence at a time, and then making the cuts in editing Camtasia afterwards. So, but that's just something else in my toolkit. Okay, we're almost down to the bottom. I got three more questions here for now. I just signed up for the professional. It looks like it's the one that provides the full HD 1080p. So perhaps that's the one you have. Yeah, I think I figured that out. I must have the professional. In my mind, 1080p is pretty much a must, as long as your upload speed through your internet provider can support it. Again, mine's not great, but I get 10, and that's more than enough. So I think I read somewhere that 6 megabits per second, as long as you can dedicate 6 megabits per second to your upload, then you can stream at 1080p. So yeah, awesome. You signed up, new StreamYard customer. Hooray! Ring the bell. David Parsons, welcome, David. Nice to see you again. My PC has 10th generation Intel Core i5, but is not powerful enough to do what I want. Um, yeah, that might be. What do I have here? So on my laptop, what I used to use for Camtasia was 7th gen i5. So sounds like you have a newer one. It's probably better than what well, it would be better than what I have. But yeah, if what you want to do is render longer videos, or bigger videos, say 4K videos, or say higher frame rates, so 60 frames per second, for instance, instead of 30 or 25, 24. Um, Anything like that, like raising your frame rate or your or the up to 4K from 1080p, that's going to require a longer time. So the faster or the more powerful the processor that you can get, the faster your render times will be. It's kind of as simple as that. Um, well, I shouldn't say that. There's probably other factors too. Having enough RAM, so having at least 16 gigs of RAM. And the only reason I'm saying that is because that's what I have. I think I had 8 in my laptop, so an i5 7th gen with 8 gigs of RAM. Um, to me, it was too slow in rendering, so I solved that by going to a better processor. So I guess the more money you're willing to spend on a computer, the faster your render times will be. I have to kind of weigh that. Um, okay, Mysterious India says, "Sir, I have a question. I am a software engineer from India. To getting a job in Canada, it is necessary to have a Canadian education. Without this, I am not eligible to work in Canadian company." Um, I I I don't know. I don't think so. Like I don't think it's a requirement, but I don't know. I am not an expert on that. I guess that would be a question for Immigration Canada. Um, they'd be able to help. I do know there are a lot of people who live in Canada who weren't born here. So we have people in Canada from all over the world, um, employed. Um, so I mean, every country you want to enter would have their own rules and eligibility requirements. But I don't think you need an education from a Canadian company. Um, there may be so. I mean, in Canada, we're a bilingual country, so we're English and French. Those are our two national languages, and then we have so our country is split up into 10 provinces and 3 territories. Um, Not every province is bilingual. In fact, I think we only have one bilingual province. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's New Brunswick is the only truly bilingual, officially bilingual province in Canada. And then you have Quebec, that's officially French. So one language, just French, officially. Um, Even though there's a lot of people in Montreal and whatnot that speak English. And then all of the other provinces, I believe, are officially provincially English. But again, like if you want a federal job in any of the provinces, being bilingual in both English and French, I think might be a requirement. And if it's not a requirement, it's certainly very helpful to get a job. But I don't know the exact rules. So, but having said that, no, I don't think you need an education here. We do have a lot of students. So Halifax, Nova Scotia is very education friendly. We have a lot of universities here, and we have people from all over the world attending university here. India, China, even the U.S., the U.K., Australia. I mean, everywhere, everywhere. There's people from all over. Thailand, Philippines, everywhere, Malaysia, that come here to go to school, and maybe that helps them be able to stay here and get employed here after they've graduated. I'm not sure. Or maybe they just wanted to get an education here and then they go somewhere else, either back home or to another country. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. I'm just kind of rambling here, telling you what I do know, which isn't much. So I'm sorry I'm not able to answer your question, but I don't think it's you have to have a Canadian education to move to Canada. There are other ways to be able to move to Canada. I think we have a really good immigration policy. I think it's easier to get into Canada than some other countries if that's what you want to do. Love to get more on that little teleprompter. I will. How about I make a, well, it is, this is an easier way to show you. It's by Desview. I think I think it's made in China. I bought it from Amazon, and this is just a little cover here. Okay. To protect the mirror. You want to keep that clean. And the camera sits back here. So this slides on to the camera just like that. There, you can't see it. But if I'm looking right into the camera, okay, what I see is a reflection of my phone that reflects up and then at a 45-degree or 90-degree angle straight back to me. So a little spring loaded thing here so I can put my phone in there. Okay. Um, let me see if I can do this real quick. I'm going to put my phone in here and turn it on. Oh, Face ID. Turn it back on. Okay, so now you see that? My phone is in it. Okay, and now it's reflected up there. So with the camera back here, okay, I'm going to be able to look directly into the camera lens. So you're seeing my eyes. You're not seeing me read off of something over here or down there or up there. I'm looking right into the camera and I'm reading what's on my phone. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, it went off. There we go. I'm reading what's on the phone. And so then what you have to do is you have to download an app to your phone, a teleprompter app. And I use Prompt Smart, it's called. And with that, that one in particular allows you to set it up so that as you're reading what you're seeing in the teleprompter, it automatically advances up. Like it hears what you're saying. The microphone in your phone will pick up what you're saying and will advance the script up. So you just type out your script in a text editor or and then you bring it in to the Prompt Smart app. You can bring it in via Google Docs, say your Google Drive, and then yeah, that's a really neat little thing. I want to say it was a couple $100. I don't really remember, but I'll try to remember to put a link to it down below. But it's real handy, nice, small, and compact. Other ones are huge and need their own tripod and whatnot, but really not necessary. I think this is all you need, and it's not very heavy too. So there you go. Hopefully that helped. But check it out for those who aren't very good at ad libbing when they're talking. teleprompter, I think, is the way to go. It's also neat too because you could have, you know how you watch people, if you watch TV, boy, it's getting warm in here. 2.5 hours in, and we're still going strong, but it's getting hot in this office. I got my door closed, and there's no air on in here. So, anyways, yeah, you can use a teleprompter like that to reflect an image of the person you're talking to. If you're doing a one-on-one video call, say a Zoom, put a little video monitor in that teleprompter and reflect that screen up and towards you. So then you can be looking right at, like, right into your camera, but you're also looking right at them when you're talking to them. And then it won't look like you're looking off to the side. Like if their picture is here, you see them on the video over here. So you're talking here, but the camera is seeing the side of your face. So it's not something I've done yet, but I've seen videos on it. I think it's a really neat little trick, something you can do with it. Um, so yeah, I hope that helps, David. Pamela Powers says, have you done a video on how to do that slide where you promote the book and your on-air video decreases to fit? The slide no, okay. I think you're talking about this overlay, right there, that overlay when I slide that on. I haven't done a video on how to do that. I've kind of shown how I hide that. That's done with StreamYard. So this overlay here is something I created in Canva. Okay. And this is basically a black background set at either 50% or 75% opacity, so that it's semi see-through. And I saved that as a transparent image, and then I uploaded it into StreamYard, and now it's an overlay that I can select to have show here. So that is one overlay that I've got. That's another overlay there, the Camtasia 22 one. Here's another one. Here's one that's the standard one that comes with the StreamYard. And you can upload as many overlays as you want to StreamYard. It's really cool. So yeah, I haven't done a video on that, but hopefully that helps explain how I get that up there. Okay, and back to the comments. Mysterious India says, thanks so much, sir. Good vibes. Sure, I come to Canada for a job after getting some experience in India, probably after 3 years. Awesome. Actually, there's lots of uh, India is quite a tech savvy country, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of tech type jobs in India. But hey, you're the expert. I'm not. So, but yeah, no, if you want to come to Canada, uh, you're more than welcome. That'd be awesome. But yeah, maybe some experience. If you get some experience first, that would certainly help. If you're wanting to come to Canada to get a job, then definitely, if you have some experience, that would certainly help. Um, and Pam says yes. Pamela, sorry, says yes. So I believe that was just about what I was just talking about with the overlay. So yeah, that's how I did that. Canva, great software, online software, that I've been using for several years now, and it keeps getting better and better. You can do videos with it now too. I haven't yet, but um, I just like it for making images. So making images overlays for this, or I use it for all of my YouTube videos that I make. Any graphics that I put in those videos, I would use Canva to make those. All my thumbnails I make in Canva. That's another video that I want to make, and how to make a good YouTube thumbnail. Not that mine are the best, but in fact, I think I've overused the ones that I've been using. I think I might switch it up a bit. I need some more pictures of me current. That picture I use on all my thumbnails, I think, is 2 years old now. So I think it was time to update that and get some more pictures and start doing more variety with my thumbnails. But yeah, I'd be happy to make a video on how to use Camtasia to make those. Good night, sir. Here is 12:04 a.m. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Time to get to bed then. 3:34 p.m. here. So 2:34 Eastern. Again, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, Atlantic time zone. sticking right out in the Atlantic Ocean on the way to Newfoundland and then the UK. um, yeah, that's probably a good place to draw the line. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Wow. Who knew that I could talk for that long? And there's a whole section on my sheet here that I was going to get to that I didn't make it to. So that means I have yet more content to use to make another video. Um, this week, I hope to get a video out on Fiverr. Might take a little bit of a break on the Camtasia quick tips and come out with a Fiverr video to try to help those who want to get set up in Fiverr. Either some tips and tricks with how to get the best results with Fiverr. You know, five. I mean, I've come up with a couple of title ideas. The 5 questions you must ask yourself when starting Fiverr is an idea. Um, yeah, so still brainstorming. Don't know what it's going to be yet, but I want to make and also a video that advertises the free book that I'm giving away. So hopefully anybody who has that book is getting some nice, good advice from it. Hopefully you'll be able to put that to some good work, and that it works for you. It's worked for me. Excuse me. So yeah. Anyways, that's probably a good place to draw this to a close. Thank you once again for joining me on this live stream. Answered a lot of questions today, and it was fun. I plan on coming back next week, next Thursday, again, 12 p.m. Eastern time or 1 p.m. Atlantic time here, next Thursday. And I will post a link to that live stream the night before. So next Wednesday evening, anytime after that, you'll see a thumbnail and a link to this video. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, then I'll be able to post what's called a trailer video to my live streams. I'm not allowed to do that until I have 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor and do so now. That'll help me get to the ability to post a video trailer, and then I'll be able to post like a 2-minute video that that's attached to the thumbnail where the live stream is going to be. And then when you click on that, you'll see the little 2-minute intro telling you about what I'm going to talk about in the live stream. So looking forward to being able to do that. That'll come with time though. And until next week, watch out for another video. I think one video this week is probably the most I'm going to have time to do, and I'm thinking it'll be on Fiverr. No promises yet, though. You'll see it when it comes out. Probably next Monday or so is my guess. So with that said, thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Cheers.